I spent weeks meticulously planning an unforgettable Christmas trip. It wasn't just any trip. It was a grand gesture, a chance to see the pure joy on my grandchildren's faces amidst the festive magic of New York City. I pictured the big tree, the ice skating, the entire holiday scene, all wrapped up in a perfect family memory. My life, Lester's life, had been dedicated to the sky, to air traffic control. For 40 years, I had guided enormous aircraft, some weighing 400,000 pounds and traveling at 500 miles per hour, safely down to the ground. Now retired, my days were spent on a different kind of aviation, caring for my massive collection of model aircraft. I had over 300 of them lining the shelves, a meticulous record of a career spent in control. One afternoon, I was carefully running a dust cloth over my miniature Boeing 747, placing it next to my DC-3 and the Concorde, when my cell phone vibrated on the workbench. It was my daughter, Octavia. Her name lit up the screen. "Hey, sweetheart, what's all the commotion?" I answered. "Dad, you're home," she exclaimed. "I've got everyone here. Sophia, Obadiah, come say hi to Grandpa." The background noise instantly exploded into chaos, two children screaming with excitement at once. "Grandpa, Mommy says you have a surprise." I couldn't help but grin. I had planned to wait until Sunday dinner for the big reveal, but since they were all together, why delay the joy? "Well," I said, drawing it out, "how do you kids feel about New York City at Christmas?" The noise ramped up again. "The real New York with the big tree? The real one." "The real one," I confirmed. "Business class tickets, a Broadway show, skating at Rockefeller Center. 5 tickets. You, me, Octavia, Thornton, and Mom." "Mom, we're going to New York." I pulled the phone away from my ear, shielding my eardrum. The celebratory volume was like a jet engine at full throttle. I'd survived air traffic control towers, but these grandkids might just finish the job. Octavia laughed. "Dad, you didn't have to." "I wanted to," I insisted. "Flights are booked for December 23rd. We'll spend Christmas Eve and Christmas Day in Manhattan." Then, my son-in-law, Thornton's distant, flat voice cut through the background. "That's generous, Lester." "Thornton, you there?" I asked. Yeah, it's great. Really great," he replied. Something in his tone made me instantly pause. It wasn't excitement or even real gratitude. It was something else entirely. The call ended a moment later with more screaming from the kids. I set the phone down and picked up the Model 747. My hand trembled slightly. I put the plane back down, leaving it on the workbench instead of its shelf. That uneasy feeling didn't go away. 2 days later, on Thursday evening, headlights swept across my living room window. A car door slammed, followed by a knock. It was Thornton. He was standing on my porch holding a bottle of Jameson. "Brought you some whiskey," he said. "Figured we could have a drink. Just us guys. Not like you to drop by unannounced. Everything okay?" I asked, my internal alarm bell starting to ring. "Everything's fine. Can't a guy visit his father-in-law?" He didn't wait for glasses. He poured the drinks himself, finding the tumblers in my kitchen cabinet. He settled into my armchair like he owned the place. After some small talk about work, he got to the point. "Hey, I wanted to talk about the trip," he said. My chest tightened immediately. "You're not canceling on me, are you? The kids are over the moon." No, it's just my dad, Oswald," he explained. "He's been alone since Mom passed 3 years ago. You remember?" I nodded. "I remember. Sent flowers." Thornton leaned forward, ice clinking in his glass. He mentioned how he's always wanted to see New York at Christmas. The tree, the lights, all of it. Never got the chance. He's 64, not getting younger, and you know how it is. He doesn't have much, living on a fixed income. I set my glass down, maybe too carefully. I waited. Then he finally said it. Thornton, what if he came instead? Just this once. The kids love him. They call him Pop Pop. He'd really appreciate it. The whiskey burned in my throat. This is a family trip. My family. You, Octavia, the kids, and me. His expression changed instantly. The false warmth drained from his eyes. Right? Your family. Got it. He stood up abruptly, his chair scraping the hardwood floor. Look, maybe next year we could plan something that includes. Forget it. Bad idea. Thanks for the drink. Thornton, sit down. Let's talk about this. I urged. Nothing to talk about. See you at the airport. The door closed hard. Not a complete slam, but close enough to make the statement. He was gone. His glass of expensive Jameson, nearly full, sat untouched on the side table. $28 worth of whiskey brought, poured, and left behind. That's when I knew something was seriously wrong. Thornton never, ever wastes alcohol. I watched his taillights disappear down the street, not moving for a full minute. The uneasy feeling from the phone call 2 days ago came roaring back. Louder now. I picked up the 747 model again. My hand shook worse this time. Outside, Thornton was sitting in his car, the engine running, snow falling softly on his windshield. He dialed his phone. Dad, it's me. I heard him say, or at least, I imagined the crackle of his father's voice through the phone. No, he didn't go for it. Yeah, I know what we discussed. Okay, plan B then. You sure about this? All right, I'll handle it. See you at the airport. He hung up and stared for a moment at my lit window, where I stood surrounded by my model planes. Then he slowly pulled away. I reached for the Boeing 747 model one more time, but my hand stopped midair. Something's coming. 6 days until we were supposed to depart. I called Octavia at 9 o'clock the next morning. I let it ring 6 times before she finally answered. Morning, sweetheart. Just checking in. Kids excited? I asked. Yeah. Her voice came out flat, mechanical. That's it? Just, yeah. They're excited? Octavia, what's wrong? You sound. Nothing's wrong. I'm busy. Can we talk later? She cut in. Busy with what? It's 9 in the morning. Dad, please. I'll call you back. When? Later. And she hung up. I stood in my kitchen holding a dead phone. She didn't call back. For days to go. The phone rang at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Unknown number. Grandpa. It was Sophia's voice, barely audible. Sophia. Honey, I can barely hear you. Is everything? I'm in my closet. I don't want them to hear. She whispered. My pulse spiked. What's going on? Are you okay? I'm fine. But Grandpa, something's weird. Daddy and Papa keep talking in the garage. I heard them say your name. What did they say exactly? I couldn't hear all of it. But Pop said something about tickets and Daddy said he won't even see it coming. What does that mean? I controlled my voice, keeping it steady for her sake. Not sure, sweetheart, but listen to me. Someone's coming. I got to go. The call ended abruptly. 3 days left. I walked next door to my neighbor Sil Parker's house. Sil had been an investigator for 30 years. He answered the door in slippers and a cardigan, coffee mug in hand. Sit. Coffee's fresh, he said. He poured without asking, knowing how I took it. You look like death. What's eating you? My son-in-law. Something's off. Off how? I explained everything. The abandoned whiskey, Octavia's sudden coldness, and Sophia hiding in her closet. Sil sat down heavily. How much is this trip costing you? $12,000. Why? He whistled low. That's motive right there. Lester, I spent 30 years investigating people. Your son-in-law is planning something. A man who brings expensive whiskey and doesn't drink it. A wife who suddenly won't talk to her father. Whispering in garages. That's not normal family behavior. What do? I asked. Keep your eyes open. Trust your gut. You spent 40 years in air traffic control. You know when something's about to crash before it shows on radar. My gut's been screaming for 3 days. Then listen to it, he advised. In 30 years of investigating, I learned one thing. When a cheap bastard brings expensive whiskey and doesn't drink it, he's either dying or scheming. Thornton certainly looked healthy. 1 day left. I tried texting Octavia. Please call me. I know something's wrong. 2 hours passed. Nothing. I tried again. I'm your father. Whatever's happening, we can work it out. 1 hour of silence. Finally, a reply, everything is fine. Then why won't you talk to me? I'm talking to you now. This isn't talking. This is typing. Call me. No response. I waited. 20 minutes. 40. An hour. Octavia. 3 hours later, a final text arrived. See you tomorrow at the airport. 5:30 a.m. That's all you have to say? I didn't sleep that night. I sat at the kitchen table at 2 in the morning. The boarding passes spread out like a terrible hand of cards. My coffee long gone cold. I picked up my phone, put it down, picked it up again. I had half-heartedly tried to pack, even momentarily packing for Antarctica by accident. It was flight day. Buffalo Niagara International Airport, 5:30 in the morning. I finally managed to park my car at Buffalo Niagara International Airport after circling the lot 3 times, defeated by a Honda Odyssey that kept stealing spots. I, who had successfully managed aircraft weighing 400,000 pounds traveling at 500 miles per hour, was defeated by a minivan. I grabbed my bag and saw them near the entrance. My step faltered. There stood Oswald. Thornton's father, the man who was supposed to be staying home, was standing with my family, smiling a broad, triumphant smile, his hands tucked into his coat pockets. He definitely wasn't supposed to be here. Sophia, my granddaughter, was gripping Octavia's hand tightly. She saw me and started to walk forward, but Thornton sharply called her back, and she froze. Morning, everyone. I greeted them. Kids, you ready for? I stopped when Oswald turned that smile on me. Lester, good to see you, he said. Oswald, I didn't know you'd be here to see us off, I replied, trying to sound casual. Thornton's voice cut in, cold and hard. He's not seeing us off. My grandson, Obadiah, tugged my coat. Grandpa, why is everyone acting weird? Sophia stayed quiet, refusing to let go of my hand. She squeezed so hard my fingers went numb. What's going on? I demanded. Octavia stared at the ground, refusing to look at me. Octavia, look at me, I insisted. Nothing, she whispered, her lips barely moving. We'll explain at check-in. Let's get in line. We're running late, Thornton added, walking ahead. I checked my watch. We're 40 minutes early. Just move, he ordered. We walked toward the check-in counter in silence. Obadiah bounced on his heels, oblivious to the tension. Can we get McDonald's after we check in? He asked. As the agent called, next in line. Please. Thornton stepped directly between me and the counter, blocking my path. Lester, we need to talk, he said. We can talk after we check in, I countered. Oswald moved closer, still smiling his smug smile. This won't take long. There's been a change of plans. I looked at Octavia. What kind of change? Her eyes stayed down. She barely whispered, Thornton, I'll handle this. Sophia pulled on my hand. Grandpa, I want to go with you. Thornton ignored her completely. Lester. He opened his mouth, and the words came out cold and precise. We gave your ticket to my father. My coffee cup slipped in my hand, and I caught it awkwardly. Hot liquid splashed my coat sleeve, but I barely felt the burn. You? What? Oswald stepped forward with his luggage, a bright orange suitcase with a tag that read World's Best Grandpa. He flashed that broad smile. Surprise! I'm going to the Big Apple. My mouth opened, but no words came out. I swallowed hard. Octavia. What is he? The kids love him more than you. Anyway, he's a real grandfather, Thornton interjected. Someone who knows how to have fun. That's not. You can't just, I stammered. Already done, buddy? Oswald chimed in, rocking on his heels. Your ticket's now in my name. Delta confirmed it last night. Last night, while I sat in my kitchen, staring at boarding passes at 2 in the morning, they were on the phone transferring my seat. You changed my ticket without telling me? I asked, completely stunned. Around us, other travelers slowed down, giving us space. A woman with a stroller moved aside quickly. Then Sophia screamed. Actually screamed. No, Daddy. No, we want Grandpa. We want Grandpa. Thornton grabbed her arm and pulled her back hard enough that she stumbled. Sophia, be quiet. Adults are talking. You're mean. I hate this. Grandpa's supposed to come, she yelled. He jerked her arm again. Shut it. We decided. Pop is coming instead. Obadiah, confused, tugged my coat. Grandpa, aren't you coming? Who's going to show me the big tree? My voice cracked. Buddy, Pop will show you. Thornton cut me off. He's better at this stuff anyway. Obadiah, 6 years old, started crying, tears running down his face. But I want Grandpa. I looked at Octavia. She stood there, her purse clutched like a shield, her eyes glued to the floor tiles. She wouldn't look at me. Octavia, look at me. Look at me. She finally lifted her eyes for half a second, then dropped them again. Her lips moved without a sound. Is this true? Did you agree to this? She nodded. Barely, but she nodded. Why? After everything, why? Because she's my wife, Thornton answered for her. She does what's best for our family. I'm her father. You're a retired old man with a house full of toy airplanes, Thornton sneered. Oswald is vibrant, active. The kids actually enjoy him. Oswald laughed and put his hand on my shoulder, patronizingly, like I was a child needing comfort. Nothing personal, Lester. Just how it is. I jerked away, and his hand fell. The sounds of the terminal faded. The PA announcements became white noise. My vision blurred at the edges, and my chest tightened. I was holding a $7 airport coffee that had burnt my hand when I almost dropped it. $7, and I couldn't even enjoy the pain properly because my heart was being ripped out. Sophia grabbed my hand and squeezed hard. Grandpa, don't go. Don't leave us. I crouched down to be eye level with her, tears streaming down her face. It's okay, sweetheart. You'll have fun with Pop Pop. I don't want Pop Pop. I want you, she sobbed. Standing up took effort. My legs felt wrong, like they belonged to someone else. Enjoy the show, the skating, all of it, I said, looking past my family, already walking away. Thornton's face lit up, triumphant. We will. Oswald smirked. Sure you don't want to wait around and wave goodbye? They high-fived. Actually high-fived like they'd won the Super Bowl instead of stolen a Christmas trip from a 68-year-old man. I turned and started walking toward the exit doors. One foot, then the other mechanical, automated. Away from my crying granddaughter, Away from my daughter who wouldn't look at me. Away from everything. The automatic doors approached and opened. Cold air hit my face. Snow was falling heavier now outside. My hand pressed flat against the glass of the door. My reflection stared back. An old man, defeated. Behind me, in the terminal, I could see them clearly. Thornton with his arm around Oswald's shoulder, laughing. Then something clicked. I worked here for 40 years. I have connections. My phone came out, my hands shaking. It took 3 tries to hit the right contact. Ted O'Brien, a senior Delta manager who owed me more favors than I could count. I moved to a pillar and leaned against it, needing the support. The phone rang twice. Lester, it's 5:30 in the morning. You at the airport? Ted answered. I need your help right now. My son-in-law just stole my ticket. Gave it to his father. My granddaughter is crying. I need immediate assistance. Silence. Then, wait, what? Stole your? Can you meet me now in the terminal? I'm not in yet. I'm calling in every favor. 40 years. Remember Minneapolis? Remember the Hernandez situation? A long pause. Where are you? Delta check-in area. I'll be near the service corridor entrance. I'm 20 minutes out. Do not do anything until I get there. 20 minutes. I'll wait, I replied. I ended the call and turned around. Across the terminal, they were still celebrating. Oswald's orange suitcase, with that world's best grandpa tag, mocked me from 50 yards away. Sophia was now sitting on her suitcase, her face buried in her hands, her shoulders shaking. Obadiah stood alone, sucking his thumb, something he hadn't done in 2 years. My hands stopped shaking. 20 minutes. I could wait 20 minutes. It was time to work. The service corridor door opened at 5:42 a.m. Ted O'Brien burst through, wearing his winter coat and carrying 2 coffees. He saw the look on my face and set the coffees down fast. All right, I'm here. Talk fast. I've got 16 minutes before the morning rush, he instructed. My son-in-law changed my ticket to his father's name without my permission. He told me this morning at check-in, I explained. He what? Lester, you can't just. The tickets are in my name. I'm the purchaser. My credit card. I never authorized any changes, I stated firmly. Ted sat at the computer terminal and pulled up the confirmation number I had already loaded on my phone. His fingers flew over the keyboard. Jesus, they did change it yesterday at 11 p.m. Who processed this? He muttered. Does it matter? It matters because someone violated protocol. You can't modify tickets without the cardholder's authorization. This is fraud, technically, Ted said. Can you fix it? I asked. He paused, looking at me. Lester, this is risky. If they complain, they stole my family. Will you help me or not? A long silence followed. The computer hummed. One condition, non-negotiable. Name it, he finally said. The kids come with you. Both of them. I won't separate children from a grandfather who clearly loves them for parents who are using them as chess pieces, he declared. That's not a condition, Ted. That's the entire point. Did you hear my granddaughter screaming? Begging to stay with me? His expression softened. I believe you. Okay. Let's do this fast. He turned back to the screen and started typing. The terrible airport coffee sat between us. Original reservation was 5 passengers. You daughter, son-in-law, 2 kids. Correct. Unauthorized change removed you, added Oswald Simmons. Same seat, different name. Reverse it. Not that simple. Once processed in the system. Ted, you've overridden systems for 40 years. I've watched you. I reminded him. He smiled slightly. That was different. This is more important. What do you need? Manager code, fraud flag, cardholder verification. Then I can reverse and reconfigure. How long? He asked. 10 minutes if nothing breaks. 12 if I'm careful, he estimated. Be careful but fast. That's not how it works. Fine. Sit there. Don't talk. Let me think, I said. 5 minutes of typing, just keyboard clicks. My fingers drummed the counter. Ted, recognizing the stress pattern from our old dispatch days, didn't comment. Come on. Come on, he muttered under his breath. What's wrong? Nothing. System's slow. Holiday overload. 2 more minutes. The Delta system made a sound like a dying printer having an asthma attack. Ted muttered something about legacy software from 1987. Okay. I've got the original reservation back. Now I'm removing the unauthorized parties. Removing Thornton Simmons, Octavia Richardson Simmons, Oswald Simmons. All 3. You bought 5 tickets, 5 seats. You're taking 3. You and 2 kids. The other 2 stay grounded. Both parents? I questioned. Ted looked at me. You want your daughter on that plane after what she did? I opened my mouth, then closed it. 90 seconds passed while I wrestled with the decision. She's my daughter. But she nodded. She enabled this. She watched her children cry. No. Final config. Lester Richardson. Sophia Simmons. Obadiah Simmons. Enter. A key press. A pause. The computer beeped. We exhaled simultaneously, realizing we'd been holding our breath. Done. You're checked in. Boarding Group A. Passes printing now. I stood, straightened my coat, and forced my shoulders to relax, preparing for the confrontation. Ted, thank you. Go get your grandkids, he instructed. I walked through the corridor and emerged into the public area. Thornton saw me, frowned, confused as to why I was coming from the employee section. Sophia, Obadiah, come here, please, I called. What are you? Where have you been? Thornton stepped forward. Kids, we need to board. Let's go. Sophia jumped up from her suitcase. We're going with you. Obadiah looked confused. But Mom and Dad? Just you 2 and Grandpa, like I promised. Like you? What are you talking about? Oswald stepped forward. Lester, I think there's been a misunderstanding. No misunderstanding, I corrected. I paid $12,000. My name, my credit card. I decide who flies. The tickets are changed. I changed them yesterday without my authorization. That's called fraud. But I fixed it, I announced. Octavia whispered. Fixed it? The children are coming with me. You 3 are staying here. Thornton's face went red. You can't. That's not. What did you do? I corrected an unauthorized change. Delta was very helpful. Oswald pulled out his phone. This is ridiculous. I have a boarding pass right here. That's been canceled. Check your email. Thornton checked his phone. His face went from red to purple. You son of a... Language. Children present, I said. He lunged forward, reaching wildly and desperately for Sophia's arm. Sophia, you're not going anywhere. Sophia backed away. Dad, stop. I stepped between them. Don't touch her. She's my daughter. He's kidnapping her. Thornton shouted. Sir, please step away from the child. A female security officer, badge reading Martinez, appeared from my left. Her partner came from the right. This is my daughter. Thornton tried to push past me. Sir, I need you to step back now. The male officer addressed him directly. This is insane. He's the one. Sir, is that your daughter? The male officer asked Sophia. Sophia's voice was small and frightened. He's my dad, but I want to go with Grandpa. Martinez looked at me. Are these your grandchildren? Yes, I have custody for this trip. I'm the ticket holder. Do you have documentation showing custody? The male officer asked Thornton. I don't need. I'm her father. Sir, we received a report of aggressive behavior. I need to see your identification. Behind them, Octavia stepped backward, away from Thornton, her hand covering her mouth, eyes wide. It was the first time she'd moved independently since this started, putting distance between herself and his violence. This is insane, Thornton yelled. Sir, identification now or we'll escalate this. Ted emerged from the corridor and walked over to me without a word, handing me the 3 new boarding passes. Thornton saw this. No, you can't. Those are our seats. Oswald was staring at his phone, refreshing his canceled boarding pass over and over, his face a picture of disbelief. Martinez spoke into her radio. We're going to need backup at Delta check-in. I checked my watch. 5:58 a.m. boarding started in 22 minutes. I bent down to Sophia. Ready for New York? She nodded, tears streaming, but smiling. Thornton's voice rose to a shout behind us. But I ignored him. We were through security, the 2 kids and me, heading for the gate. A flight attendant smiled at Sophia, who was pressed against the window. Traveling with Grandpa today? She asked. Just us, Sophia replied. It's the best Christmas ever. She breathed fog onto the glass and drew a heart with her finger, writing Grandpa inside. It was the first real smile I'd seen from her in weeks. I took a photo. Obadiah bounced in his middle seat. And a Broadway show? What's Broadway? I laughed. You'll see tomorrow, buddy. Sophia looked at me, her voice quiet. Grandpa, thank you for taking us. There's nowhere else I'd rather be, I assured her. Mom and Dad were being really mean, she confessed. Let's not think about that right now. This is our trip. We checked into the Holiday in Midtown at 10 a.m. For the $12,000 I'd spent, the room had a view of a brick wall. The wall was actually the best value. By noon, we were at Rockefeller Center. Obadiah stood before the giant Christmas tree, his mouth open, and grabbed my hand. It's real. It's actually real. Simple childhood wonder. After weeks of adult tension and whispered threats, he got to be 6 years old again. We had hot chocolate at a nearby cafe. The children sat close, one on each side, a physical closeness they couldn't show around their parents. Obadiah ordered extra marshmallows, and the barista gave him 11. I counted. The kid defeated Oswald's insurance scam with better negotiating skills than his father ever had. We walked through Times Square, saw a street performer dressed as Spider-Man, and ate overpriced pizza. We did everything tourists do. The children needed normal. They got it. Back at the hotel by 8:30 p.m., both were exhausted. Sophia was sitting on the edge of her bed, brushing her teeth in the bathroom mirror, her legs swinging. She stopped mid-swing. Grandpa, she said. Yes, sweetheart. Can I tell you something? Something I heard. I sat on my bed. Of course. What is it? She came out and sat beside me. Daddy told Mommy. He said, when you die, they're going to sell your house. My chest tightened, but I kept my voice neutral. When did you hear this? 2 weeks ago. I was getting water. They didn't know I was there. What else did they say? Mommy said, that's awful. We can't. But Daddy said he won't know. He'll be gone. Did your mom agree? Sophia whispered. She cried. But she didn't say no. From the other bed, Obadiah piped up. I heard stuff too, about airplanes. What about airplanes? Grandpa Oswald. Not you. The other grandpa. He talked about money from airplanes. Big money. My pulse quickened. When was this? Lots of times. In the garage. I was playing with my cars. Sophia frowned at him. Obadiah, you weren't supposed to be in the garage. They didn't see me. I was quiet like a mouse. He defended himself. What exactly did Oswald say about airplanes? He shrugged. Something about passengers getting hurt and insurance. I didn't understand. Do you remember anything else? Oh, I recorded it, he said casually. I record everything on my tablet. My heart stopped. You recorded them? He dug in his backpack and pulled out his tablet with a proud smile. Aha! See, I have this app. It's always on. Always on. How long? 3 months. Look, there's Daddy talking to Grandpa Oswald. There's another one. There's... Can I listen to one? Sure. This one's good. They said bad words. He giggled, handing me the tablet. I pressed play. I heard background garage sounds, tools and metal moving. Then voices. Oswald's voice. 3 claims this month. 2 went through, 1's pending. Thornton. How much? Oswald. $12,000 from United. $15 from Delta. Pending is Southwest. Probably $20. Thornton. Jesus. That's $47,000. Oswald. Split 4 ways after my contact takes his cut. Still not bad for fake whiplash. Thornton laughed. And you're sure using Lester's credentials works? Oswald. Beautiful. Retired air traffic controller. Perfect credibility. We file as a concerned industry veteran reporting safety issues. Airlines pay out to avoid investigation. Thornton. He has no idea. Oswald. Keep it that way. When this trip happens, we'll have him out of town. Perfect timing for the big claims. The audio ended. My hand tightened on the tablet, knuckles white. I replayed it, then played it again. The 3rd time, I took notes on the hotel notepad. Obadiah, do you know what this means? He shook his head. Are they in trouble? Sophia understood more. They're doing something bad, aren't they? Obadiah, the 6-year-old, had accidentally become an FBI surveillance operation. You did nothing wrong, both of you, I told them. But I need to keep this safe. Can Grandpa hold on to your tablet for a little while? Okay, don't delete my games, he replied. I won't. After they fell asleep, I went to the bathroom, closed the door, and slid down the wall to the floor. For 60 seconds, I let myself feel the full weight of their betrayal. Not just the ticket, not just Christmas. They were going to frame me for federal fraud. Then I stood, washed my face, and looked at myself in the mirror. Time to work. I called Celeste Morrison, a lawyer I knew. She answered on the 2nd ring. Celeste, it's Lester. I need you now. Lester, it's 9 at night. Are you? I have evidence of insurance fraud, federal level, and they tried to frame me. She was immediately alert. What kind of evidence? Audio recording. My grandson accidentally captured my son-in-law and his father discussing fake insurance claims using my credentials. Holy. Okay. Don't touch the original file. Make copies. Multiple copies. Send one to me right now. Already done. Check your email. They mention specific airlines, amounts, and using my name. Lester, this is serious. Federal fraud, identity theft, conspiracy. We're talking years in prison for them. Good. But we need to be careful. If they realize you have this, they won't. I'm in Manhattan. They think I'm broken. How are the kids safe? With me, and they're staying with me. I assured her. I called SIL next. Lester, you okay? I need your police contacts. Federal level if you have them. Insurance fraud. Aviation sector. Recorded confession. Multiple airlines affected. Low whistle. That's FBI territory. Maybe FAA. Can you make introductions? I can try. Send me what you have. They were going to use my name. Frame me while I was out of town. Son of a Lester, you did the right thing in keeping those kids away. I need this airtight. I need them buried. Give me until morning. I'll make calls. My phone buzzed at 10:47 p.m. A text from Octavia. Dad, I'm sorry. Another text came 5 minutes later. I know you're angry. Then Thornton says, if I don't do what he says, he'll take the kids from me. I'm scared. I don't know what to do. Please answer. Please. 6 minutes after that. I didn't know about the fraud thing. I swear I didn't know. I waited until 11:15 p.m. to type back. The children are safe. That's all that matters right now. Her response was immediate. Can I talk to them? They're asleep. We'll talk when I'm back in Buffalo. When I'm ready. I set the phone face down on the nightstand and didn't look at it again. Outside the window, the lights of Times Square flashed red and gold Christmas colors. Sophia and Obadiah slept in the other bed. Obadiah's arm draped over his sister. On the desk, the tablet sat charging, its screen dark. Inside were 3 months of recordings, 47 audio files total. I'd listened to 6 so far, each one worse than the last. They included names of airlines like United, Delta, Southwest, and JetBlue, and claims adding up to 6 figures, maybe more. I pulled out the hotel notepad and started writing. Names, airlines, dates, amounts. I cross-referenced this with my own work history at Buffalo Niagara. I had worked there for 40 years. I knew every manager, every protocol, every weakness in the system. I knew exactly who to call. But not tonight. Tonight I was letting them panic. Tomorrow the net closes. December 26th. I flew home with the kids. We didn't announce our return. The guest rooms were ready with fresh sheets, Sophia's favorite purple pillows, and Obadiah's Spider-Man nightlight. I was making their new home, not just a temporary stop. My dining room table became command center. Laptop, notepad with columns for airlines and contacts, phone, and a freshly relocated coffee pot. I called Celeste at noon. I'm filing emergency custody today. Within the hour, I instructed. On what grounds? She asked. Dangerous parental behavior, criminal investigation, psychological harm to the children. We have airport security reports of Thornton attempting to physically restrain Sophia. We have your granddaughter's statement about death threats and house seizure plans. We have audio evidence of federal fraud. Is it enough for temporary custody? Absolutely. The airport incident alone is powerful. Security witnessed him trying to grab his child while she was screaming for you. What about Octavia? What about her? She stood silent while her husband stole Christmas from her children and attempted to frame her father for federal crimes. She can petition for supervised visitation if she wants. I paused for a long moment. File it. You're sure? This will destroy what's left of your relationship. She destroyed it at the airport, I said. At 2:47 p.m., at the courthouse, Celeste handed the emergency petition papers to the clerk. Strategic timing. Then I started making calls. Charlie Brewster at United Airlines. Charlie, it's Lester Richardson from Buffalo Niagara. Listen, I wanted to give you a heads up. There's a consultant named Oswald Simmons making claims on behalf of passengers. Just thought you should know to flag any claims connected to that name. Marissa Chun at the FAA Buffalo office. Hey, I need to report something through unofficial channels first. There's an individual filing suspicious aviation safety complaints. Oswald Simmons. I think he's using air traffic controller credentials for credibility. Mine, actually. Dennis Ali, Union Rep. Lester Richardson. I need the word to go out quietly. Anyone dealing with Oswald Simmons should proceed with extreme caution. Can't say yet, but it's serious. Federal level, no. He's been using our credentials. I made 12 calls that first day, 15 the next. Each one took 5 to 10 minutes, delivered with a polite, concerned tone. After each call, I checked the name off my list. Methodical destruction. SIL called that evening. Audio files delivered to my contact at Buffalo PD. They recognized federal jurisdiction. FAA Office of Inspector General gets it tomorrow. Good, Lester. They're already nervous. Word travels fast in aviation. That's the point. December 27th, 9 a.m. A process server delivered papers to Thornton and Octavia. Thornton, opening the door in his bathrobe, read the first page, and his face went white. By the afternoon, Oswald's phone went silent. He actually called his own number from another phone to make sure it was working. The problem was him. Thornton sat at his desk, refreshing his email, watching bounce-backs from clients. $500 worth of glossy, embossed business cards reading Thornton Simmons, Senior Sales Executive, went into the trash 3 days later. 10:15 a.m. A knock at my door. I looked through the peephole. A man in a dark suit. I opened the door partially, the chain still on. He held up a badge. A gold shield. FAA Office of Inspector General. I removed the chain. Mr. Richardson. I'm Agent Warren Castellano. May I come in? He sat in my living room, declined coffee, and pulled out a folder. We received an anonymous complaint December 16th regarding fraudulent insurance claims filed against multiple air carriers. Your name was mentioned as a potential victim of identity theft. I calculated my surprise. Identity theft? I don't understand. Someone's been filing aviation insurance claims using credentials associated with your employment history at Buffalo Niagara International. The complaint included specific flight numbers and claim amounts. Who filed this complaint? Anonymous tip line. Digital submission. Encrypted. We're trying to trace it. What do you need from me? First, confirm you didn't file these claims. Second, tell me who might have access to your employment information. I paused. I think I know who's responsible, and I have evidence. The FAA agent showed up while I was eating a bagel. I offered him the other half. He declined. His loss. That afternoon, my phone lit up with texts between Thornton and Octavia. Thornton. 3 more cancellations. Something's wrong. Octavia. What do you mean? Thornton. My clients. They're dropping me. No explanation. Later. Octavia, we got served papers. Custody petition. Thornton. What? Octavia. Emergency hearing. January 4th. Thornton. On what grounds? Octavia. Airport incident. Dangerous behavior. Criminal investigation. Thornton. Criminal what? What criminal investigation? I didn't respond to any of them. I was watching them unravel exactly as planned. December 28th, 11:30 p.m. I was watching TV. The kids were asleep upstairs. Headlights flooded the living room. Someone had parked badly, half on my lawn. The engine stayed running for 30 seconds, then came a pounding on the door. A fist, then a flat palm. Lester, open this door. It was Thornton, his voice slurred and raw. Sophia appeared at the top of the stairs, frightened. Go back to bed, sweetheart, I told her. I picked up my phone and called 911. I need the police. My son-in-law is drunk on my property, threatening me. Children are in the house. Open up, you old bastard, Thornton shouted. The operator confirmed. Officers are on the way. Stay inside. I can hear you, Thornton yelled. You think you're so smart. You think you've won. I spoke into the phone. Yes, his name is Thornton Simmons. He's my son-in-law. He's kicking the door now. You haven't won. You're a nobody. A retired old man. Red and blue lights swept through the windows. Sirens. No, 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 no. I heard him mutter. An officer's voice outside. Sir. Step away from the door. Hands where I can see them. They put Thornton in the back of the cruiser, handcuffed, his head down. He stopped yelling and just stared through the window at my house, where the lights glowed warm upstairs. His children were sleeping in someone else's house. The female officer asked if I wanted to press charges for tonight. No, but keep the report. I'll need it for the custody hearing. She handed me an incident number. Thornton watched this exchange, seeing me calmly talking to the police while he sat in a cage. The cruiser pulled away. I closed the door and locked it. My phone buzzed. A text from Celeste. Custody hearing moved up. January 2nd. Judge saw the arrest report. Another buzz. Unknown number. Mr. Richardson, this is Agent Castellano. Can you meet tomorrow? Bring all evidence. I typed back. 10 a.m. Your office or mine? Yours. Bring the children too. We'll need their statements. I looked up the stairs where Sophia and Obadiah slept. Tomorrow they would give statements to a federal agent. The next afternoon, a process server delivered official papers to my door. I stood in the hallway, reading them, and didn't move for 5 minutes. Defamation lawsuit. Oswald Simmons versus Lester Richardson, claiming I spread malicious lies that destroyed his business reputation. $250,000 in damages. I drove to Celeste's office at 3 p.m. She slid papers across her desk. Oswald hired Marcus Brennan. Should I know that name? $800 an hour defamation specialist. Won the Harrington case last year. Oswald's claiming you maliciously destroyed his business through false statements. But I have proof. Doesn't matter for this kind of suit. He's not claiming you lied. He's claiming you damaged him regardless of the truth. It's a nuisance suit designed to drain your resources. How much to defend? 50 to 75,000. Maybe more if it goes to trial. Long silence. I don't have that. The house is for the kids. For Sophia and Obadiah's future. Then we need to end this fast. The FAA investigation is our best weapon. How long until that pays off? Federal cases could be months, could be a year. I can't fight a legal battle for a year. I sat in my car afterward, the engine off, the temperature dropping. I didn't turn the heat on, just sat. I pulled out my phone. I typed to Celeste. Can we settle? I stared at it. Deleted it. Retyped. What are my options? Stared. Deleted. I talked to myself in the empty room. $12,000 for tickets. Now $75,000 for lawyers. $87,000 for what? Pride. They betrayed you. They tried to frame you. But the kids are safe. You won that. Maybe that's enough. I stopped at the window. Maybe I went too far. 9 p.m. A firm knock at the door. 3 precise raps. A military knock. I looked through the peephole and froze. I opened the door. Isadora stood there in an army jacket, a duffel bag over her shoulder. Dad. Isadora. What are you? How did you? She stepped inside. Emergency leave. Flew into JFK 3 hours ago. Drove straight here. Where are my niece and nephew? Upstairs. Asleep. Her voice hardened. And where's Thornton? Released on bail. Sent threatening text this morning. Show me. I showed her the phone. She read it, her jaw tightening. Okay. Where's Octavia? Her house, Amherst. Haven't spoken to her since New York. Good. Keep it that way. What about the lawsuit? How do you know about? I know everything, Dad. That's why I'm here. We hugged. For the first time in days, my posture relaxed. She was taller than me, military fit, smelling like airplane and mint gum. I'm here, Dad. I'm here. She dropped the duffel bag. It hit the floor with a thud, as if it contained either evidence or a body. She opened it. Evidence barely different. She pulled out a military-grade laptop, opened folders, Thornton investigation, Oswald financial, insurance fraud evidence, all dated September through December 2024. Celeste said someone filed an anonymous FAA report December 16th. She looked at me. That was me. I filed it from Ramstein Air Base. Encrypted military channels. You. How did you? Octavia called me in September. Middle of the night, crying. Said something was wrong but couldn't talk. Thornton was listening. I started investigating the next day. Used some resources. Found Thornton's bank accounts, Oswald's business transactions, insurance claims filed in your name. 17 separate claims. Your credentials, your employment history, your signature forged. They've been doing this for 8 months. Why didn't you tell me? Because I needed proof that would hold up federally, and because I needed Thornton to reveal himself completely. The Christmas trip. I knew he'd make a move. I was ready. You let them betray me at the airport. She leaned forward. No. I gave them rope. They hanged themselves. Everything you did, taking the kids, the calls to your contacts, the custody petition, that was improvisation. Beautiful improvisation. But I laid the groundwork. The FAA investigation was already underway when you discovered Obadiah's recordings. Those recordings are fantastic evidence, but I'd already built the case. I sent them bank statements, forged documents, flight manifests, claim histories. My voice came out soft. You've been protecting me always. You're my father. And they tried to destroy you. The phone rang. It was Agent Castellano. I put it on speaker. Isadora leaned close. Mr. Richardson. Agent Castellano. Agent. Isadora spoke toward the phone. Who's this? Castellano asked. Major Isadora Richardson, U.S. Army Medical Corps. I filed the December 16th complaint. There was a pause. Ah, the encrypted submission. Military channels. We've been trying to identify you. Now you have. We've secured a warrant for Oswald Simmons' residence. Tomorrow, 10 a.m. What will you be searching for? Isadora asked. Documents related to fraudulent insurance claims, computer equipment, financial records. Based on your initial report and subsequent evidence, we believe Mr. Simmons has filed approximately 47 fraudulent claims totaling over $300,000. A conservative estimate, Isadora murmured. Mr. Richardson, as the primary victim of identity theft, you're invited to observe the search. Major Richardson, your presence would also be valuable. We'll be there. 10 a.m. sharp. Isadora confirmed. And Mr. Richardson, that defamation suit filed against you today is a desperate move. Once we execute this warrant, that suit becomes irrelevant. You'll be a federal witness, not a defendant. I finally exhaled. Thank you. After he hung up, we sat in silence. We should get some sleep. Tomorrow's going to be long, Isadora said. Thank you for everything. For protecting me when I didn't know I needed it. She smiled a rare, genuine smile. That's what family does, Dad. Real family. My phone buzzed again. A text from Oswald Simmons. Mr. Richardson, we need to talk, please, before tomorrow. I can explain everything. Isadora read it and snorted. Desperation. He knows what they'll find tomorrow. I deleted the text and blocked the number. I was done talking. 10 a.m. 3 FAA agents, Agent Castellano, 2 FBI agents, and one local police officer pulled up to Oswald's house. We sat across the street in my Honda. Isadora had binoculars, a military habit. Castellano knocked, held up the warrant. Oswald opened the door in a bathrobe, tried to close it, but an agent's foot blocked it. "Mr. Simmons, we have a warrant. Step aside." Oswald tried arguing, but his body language showed defeat. 6 agents entered the house. 3 agents in the office, Isadora reported. 2 in the living room. 1 standing with Oswald. They're photographing everything. Bagging documents. Standard evidence collection. Through the front window I could see camera flashes. An agent at Oswald's computer. The first evidence box came out at 10:47 a.m., the second at 11:03 a.m., the third at 11:15 a.m. One agent emerged holding an external hard drive like it was radioactive, sealed in an evidence bag. 12:27 p.m. Thornton's BMW screeched up, parked half on the lawn, the door open, engine running. He ran toward the house. An agent intercepted him at the door, showed him the warrant. Thornton read it, his face going white. The agent stepped aside, letting him enter. Through the windows, Thornton found Oswald in the living room and immediately pointed at his father. "You told me it was safe. No risk," Thornton yelled, his voice carrying through the open windows. "Needed the money," Oswald yelled back. "Your idea to use Lester." "My idea. You're the one who—" An agent's calm voice cut in. "Gentlemen, you're both making statements without counsel present." "I don't need counsel. He's the criminal," Thornton shouted. "I'm the criminal? You signed half these documents." Oswald retaliated. This went on for 20 minutes. Agents were writing notes, recording everything. Then Thornton separated from Oswald, walked to Castellano, and spoke quietly. Oswald watched, his face showing disbelief, horror, and hatred. Castellano called someone. After a 20-minute conversation, Castellano produced papers, a cooperation agreement. Thornton signed without reading, his hand shaking, but he signed. After Thornton signed, Oswald sat heavily on the couch, his face in his hands, shoulders shaking. He looked smaller than I remembered. "That's defeat. It shrinks people," Isadora observed. "He tried to destroy me, frame me, steal from me. I know. So why do I feel not good, not bad, just empty?" I asked. "Because revenge doesn't feel like the movies," she said. "It feels like watching someone else's life end. I think it means you're a good person, Dad, even when they weren't." An agent called from the office. "Got something here. Computer desktop." "What is it?" "Excel file name. Secret Projects XL Essex. It's a full ledger. Dates, airlines, amounts, percentages, everything." "They kept it on the desktop," I said, unable to believe the stupidity. 1:30 p.m. Marcus Brennan, Oswald's $800 an hour lawyer, pulled up in an expensive Mercedes. "Where's my client?" he demanded. "Mr. Simmons has been arrested. He's being processed," Castellano informed him. "Wire fraud, mail fraud, identity theft, federal charges. His son just agreed to cooperate fully against him. Your client's testimony is irrelevant." Brennan paused, turned, and walked back to his Mercedes. 5 minutes. He earned more walking to his car than I make in an hour. Castellano approached Oswald, who stood slowly, accepted handcuffs without resistance. When they put him in the police car, I turned my head, looking out the opposite window. I didn't watch that part. Isadora's phone rang. "Batavia." Isadora looked at me. I shook my head. She answered, No, I don't. That's not my decision." Ask him yourself. Octavia, you made choices. The custody hearing is January 2nd. Bring a lawyer. She hung up. She's crying. Says she didn't know. Says Thornton lied to her. What do you think? I asked. I think she knew enough to choose him over you. That's enough. 2 p.m. 9 evidence boxes total were loaded into vehicles. I started the car and pulled away slowly. In the rear view, Oswald's house, the door still open, agent still inside. Feeling okay? Isadora asked. Ask me tomorrow. My phone buzzed. Celeste. Defamation suit withdrawn. Oswald's lawyer just filed notice. You're clear. Another buzz. Castellano. Mr. Richardson. Thank you for your cooperation. We'll need your formal statement next week. You're a federal witness now. Protected status. SIL, it's over. Les, you won. I read them all, didn't respond. Dad, if I won, why doesn't it feel like winning? I asked Isadora. No answer. We parked in my driveway, and I sat without moving. Want me to make coffee? Isadora offered. Yeah, coffee would be good. Inside, Sophia and Obadiah were watching TV, laughing at cartoons. Safe. Home. That was the win. Not Oswald in cuffs. Not Thornton's betrayal. Not $340,000 in evidence boxes. Those two kids laughing. That's what I fought for. Worth it. January 12th. The Buffalo News landed on my doorstep. My face was on the front page. Retired air traffic controller exposes aviation insurance fraud. I stood on the porch reading, my coffee in the other hand going cold. I'd forgotten I was holding it. My phone started ringing at 7 a.m. Former colleagues, neighbors, people I hadn't talked to in years. I eventually stopped answering and put the phone in a drawer. By noon, I'd received 43 text messages. The sentencing for Oswald and Thornton was January 10th at the federal courthouse. I sat in the gallery with Isadora. Oswald shuffled in wearing an orange jumpsuit, looking smaller, shrunken. Thornton arrived in a suit, keeping his eyes on the floor the entire time. The judge read the sentences. 7 years federal prison for Oswald. All his assets, house, cars, bank accounts were forfeited. Thornton got 3 years probation and $80,000 restitution. His cooperation deal meant he would pay $500 monthly, which would take 13 years. He probably didn't have it. Oswald showed no reaction, just accepted it. Thornton flinched visibly at the dollar amount. Outside, cameras waited. I kept walking. Isadora ran interference, her military bearing clearing a path. We didn't stop for questions. That afternoon, Mrs. Chun from across the street knocked on my door. She brought her laptop. We wanted to help. She opened a web page, GoFundMe page. Legal Defense Fund for Lester Richardson. $18,432.17. I stared at the screen. I don't know what to say. Just say you'll accept it. I scrolled through the donor comments. Neighbors, former coworkers, people I'd never met. One comment from an air traffic controller in Seattle read, "We take care of our own." My throat tightened. Mrs. Chun, who still types with 2 fingers, had successfully crowd-funded my legal defense. Meanwhile, Oswald and Thornton ran an 8-month fraud scheme and got caught because of an Excel file named Secret Projects. Technology is weird. January 15th, evening. The doorbell rang. I looked through the peephole. Octavia was on my porch. She looked thinner, smaller somehow. Her hair needed cutting. She was hugging herself against the cold. I paused, took a deep breath, and opened the door slowly. We looked at each other for 5 full seconds. She broke first. "Hi, Dad." "Octavia. Can I come in, please?" Inside, I sat in my usual chair. She took the couch where she used to sit for Sunday dinners. "Dad, I'm so sorry. I was wrong. I was weak. I let Thornton." Let him? You agreed. You stood there and nodded. I was scared. He said if I didn't do what he wanted, he'd take the kids, file for custody, leave me with nothing. So you chose him. I chose to survive. You chose wrong. You put your children through that. You stood in that airport and let him humiliate me. Let him steal Christmas from your kids. She cried, quiet tears. I know. I replay it every night. I see Sophia crying for you. I see Obadiah confused. I see your face. What did my face look like? She whispered, destroyed, and you still walked away. Because I'm a coward. I'm weak. I'm everything you think I am. I don't know what I think. I look at you and I see my daughter, but I also see the woman who betrayed me. Can you forgive me? Ever? I don't know. Maybe. But I can't forget. And I can't trust you. Not with them. What if I prove I've changed? I'm leaving Thornton. Divorce filed. I'm starting therapy. Looking for work. Good. You should do those things for yourself, not for me. Can I see them? The kids. That's not my decision alone. There's a custody arrangement court-ordered. But you have influence. You could. I could. But why should I? Because I'm their mother. You were their mother at the airport, too. Didn't stop you then. Footsteps sounded on the stairs. Sophia's voice. Mom! Octavia stood up. Hi, baby. Sophia ran down, launching herself. Mom, you're here. Octavia caught her, burying her face in Sophia's hair, her shoulders shaking. Obadiah appeared on the third step. Mommy! Hi, Obadiah. Come here, honey. He hesitated. Are you taking us home? Octavia glanced at me. No, baby. You're staying with Grandpa. Sophia pulled back. But we can see you. I hope so, if Grandpa says it's okay. Sophia turned to me. Grandpa, we can see Mom, right? Please. I looked at Octavia, not Sophia. Supervised. My house. Limited hours. Thank you. Can we live with you forever, Grandpa? Sophia asked. We'll see, sweetheart. Let's take it one day at a time. Later at the door, Octavia hugged the kids goodbye. I love you both so much. Love you too, Mom. Obadiah's small voice replied. She turned to me. I'll call about the visitation schedule. Talk to Celeste. She's handling the arrangements. You won't even. No, I won't. Not yet. She nodded. I understand. Do you? Do you understand that you destroyed something that can't be repaired? Tears streamed down her face. Yes, I do. Then we understand each other. Dad, good night. Octavia closed the door. Not a slam. Just closed. I stood there, my forehead against the wood. Sophia asked, Is Mom going to be okay? I think so, sweetheart. Eventually. Are you okay, Grandpa? I will be. I looked at my model aircraft collection, 40 years of work, a retirement that was supposed to be peaceful. Now raising grandchildren at 68. I didn't regret it. I couldn't regret protecting them. But the cost. Octavia's broken voice, her tears, the way Obadiah hesitated on those stairs. That cost was real. Victory doesn't erase it. Justice doesn't heal it. Time might, maybe. I headed upstairs to check on the kids. That's what matters now. Just 2 kids sleeping safely. If that's what winning looks like, I'll take it. But it doesn't feel like the movies said it would. March 2025. A new normal was established. Sophia and Obadiah were enrolled in school near my house. We had a morning routine. Breakfast, checking backpacks, signing permission slips, and driving them in my Honda. The guest rooms became permanent. Sophia's room was purple with pop stars I didn't recognize. Obadiah had superheroes and Lego structures. I gave him a model aircraft, not one from the main collection but one for him to play with. The bathroom cabinet told the story. Kids' toothbrushes next to my blood pressure medication. Old man and young kids' parallel needs. I met Octavia at Tim Hortons that month. Neutral ground. She arrived in clearance rack clothes, her hair in a simple ponytail. She had lost 15 pounds, stress weight, not healthy weight. She put a folder on the table. A job offer letter, a therapy appointment card, the divorce filing, and an apartment lease. I read each document slowly. Then I pulled out the printed schedule I'd prepared and handed it to her. Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. My house. I'm present the entire time. She nodded. I'll take what I can get. One more thing. You walk away again in any way for any reason, you don't get a third chance. This is it. I understand. I promise. First visitation is this Saturday. 10 a.m. Don't be late. I won't. Dad. Don't call me that yet. Give it time. By June, visitation had a rhythm. She would pull up at 10 a.m., bringing snacks. Gummy bears for Obadiah. Apple slices for Sophia. The kids played in the backyard. I'd added a swing set. She pushed them, often laughing too loud, trying too hard. I sat on the porch, my coffee, an unread book in my lap, just watching. Once Sophia fell, a minor scrape. I was there with the first aid kit before Octavia moved. Sorry, I should have, she started. It's fine. I've got it. At 4, she would hug them goodbye. Obadiah, do you have to go? She would ask, her voice breaking. Yes, honey, but I'll see you next week. She'd mouth, thank you to me from her car. I'd nod, not smiling, but nodding. Isadora stayed through February and returned to Germany in March. She called weekly. She told me once, if you want to rebuild with her, that's your choice. I won't participate. My doctor's appointment in April showed my blood pressure was 145/95. You need medication and less stress. I laughed without humor. I'm raising 2 kids at 68. Stress is my baseline now. September brought mail from FCI Allenwood. A prison return address. Thornton Simmons. I stood at the trash can. Almost threw it away unopened, but decided I needed to know. I read the 1-page, standard prison stationery standing. Then again sitting. His words, congratulations, Lester. You won. My father's in prison. I'm broke. My marriage is over. And your daughter? She's destroyed. You think she'll recover? She won't. I broke her. That guilt will eat her alive. Even if you forgive her, she'll never forgive herself. You won the battle, but you lost her forever. I folded it, put it in an envelope, and stared at nothing. I got up, dropped it in the trash, paused, took it out, read it one more time. She'll never be who she was. I put it back in the trash and left it there. Later in bed, I couldn't sleep. Is it true? Did I save Octavia or just watch her die? I talked to myself in the dark. She's not destroyed. She's changed. Different. But maybe better, maybe stronger. Maybe I'm lying to myself. But some things are worth saving, even if they're not the same. December 25th approached. Christmas. Isadora flew in from Germany. Octavia arrived Christmas Eve morning, nervous. She brought gifts wrapped in dollar store paper, tape everywhere. She used to pay people to wrap gifts. The kids ripped into them. The best part? She got Sophia exactly what she wanted. How'd she know? She asked. I realized. A novel concept. Talking to your children. A 7-foot real tree stood in the corner. 5 people decorating. Thornton's absence was obvious. Unspoken. I climbed the ladder, hanging high ornaments, Isadora handing them up. Octavia stood to the side, unsure of her role. Sophia took charge. Grandpa, the star goes on top. Aunt Izzy, can you help him? Mom, can you help Obadiah with the low branches? Assigning roles. Building family. Octavia approached with an ornament. Her hand shook slightly. She hung it and quickly stepped back. I noticed, but said nothing. I added a new model to my collection. A Boeing 737, vintage 1987. Sophia asked, "What's that one?" "Grandpa's flight," I explained. "I worked in 1987. Hydraulic failure. Talked the pilot through an emergency landing. All 143 passengers safe." I held the model. Some things are worth saving. I said it to myself, but loud enough for others to hear. Isadora and Octavia kept their distance. The ice between them remained. But Sophia and Obadiah bridged the gaps the adults couldn't. It wasn't perfect, not healed, but we were together. Octavia started to leave after decorating. "I should go. Let you all enjoy the evening." I paused. "You don't have to. The kids would like you to stay for dinner." Surprise lit up her face. "Are you sure?" "No, but they're sure. So, dinner at 6 if you want." Tears formed. "I want." "Thank you." "Don't thank me. Thank them. They're the ones who still believe in you." "Do you believe in me?" A long pause. "I'm trying to. That's the best I can do right now." "That's more than I deserve." "Maybe, but it's Christmas, the season of grace or something like that." A small shared smile. The first in a year. 5 people around the Christmas tree, lights glowing. Isadora and Octavia weren't looking at each other. Kids were laughing. I sat in my chair watching. Not the Christmas I imagined a year ago. Not the family I had, but a family changed, broken, then repaired imperfectly. Trying. I stood and joined them at the tree. Tomorrow will bring its own challenges. Tonight we decorate together. That's victory. Not the kind that feels triumphant, but the kind that feels like surviving, like rebuilding, like moving forward.